Hi Luminaires, my name is Maitland, Maitland, and I have been working with Jamie since she was 21. And I am going to be delivering the energy forecast for June 2020. And also talking about what chakras are going to be challenged the most, what chakra is going to be needed the most, and which one is being supported the most or strengthened, like boosted. For those of you who don't know me, I am 9 years old. I don't need to be 9 years old. I do this for a reason, because it's fun. And I like being fun and playful. And I believe that people learn more when you feel more joyful and there's a smile on your face. And you are going to need it for this June energy forecast. Is that bad? Colleen is with me. She's behind the camera. Say hi, Colleen.
Hi. Hi, Luminaires. Hi, Maitland.
Hi, Colleen. When I use Jamie's body to trance channel, Jamie's body needs somebody else to balance the room. That's why Colleen gets to get here, and she can also ask any questions if I'm giving a message and you want me to talk more about it or explain it in a different way. So here it goes. For June, lots is happening. If you're an astrologer and you've looked at June's astrology chart, you're going, there's no more room to put anything else in there. Like, there's nothing else, from eclipses, from retrogrades, from just all kinds of happenings, from the what's it called? When summer comes?
The equinox?
Equinox. I was calling it equinox, and I knew it was wrong.
I think it's a tomato thing.
Is it?
Yeah. I think it is.
Okay. I didn't know.
I'm sure there's people out there correcting me right now, but I do think that people say both.
All of that's happening. And here's how it's going to play out. So May was a lot of dropping into the heart and having like deep wounds come to the surface to heal. It was a lot of heart work. And a little bit of that is continuing on in June. It's like the finishing up of the emotional wounds, but we're going to kind of move up into the head real quick. And you're going to have time to really logically think about things and about how the heart feels. June's going to be a lot with relationships. How you view yourself in relationship to whatever it is. Your friend, your spouse, your children, your family, your work, your everything. And it's a perfect month to tie things up. If you've already started and you've already created maybe your company, or you just started a new relationship, or you just launched a new product, something of that nature, it's time to go ahead and really tie it up and put it out there. June's not going to be the time for you to start something new. If you haven't had the idea already and you haven't started, just sit on it like a mama hen on an egg and keep going back to it. You can feed it energy and keep it warm and incubate it, but it really isn't time to put it out there. And it's not time to put it out there because what's happening globally is people are still working on the wounds and working on themselves. And so it's a very introvert to extrovert time, because come around June 20th, near the equinox, that's when the retrograde happens with Mercury, and I have to listen to them too. Sometimes I can't remember everything in this brain. It's not there. Though when you get into the 20th of June, you're still understanding your relationship with everything. And then when Mercury in retrograde happens, it's a very heady experience. It challenges you to start thinking about and having more definition and changing your definitions and getting really, really clear on what your definitions are about you and about what you're doing. So when we have this shift and you want to launch something, which the point I was proving, people are working on themselves, and you want to then put it out there, you want to wait until later on in June. So incubate your ideas and your emotions a little bit more. June's gonna require you to have a lot of patience. Like, you think you've had it before, you're really gonna need it now. And I know some of you go, what? That doesn't make me very happy. But it can, because with patience, it slows the clock down. With patience, it gets your heart rate to calm. With patience, you can find more opportunity than you could when you were just moving through at a fast clip. So with patience, I don't mean it as a discipline, but I do mean it as something sweet and something good. So if you're feeling you're being triggered by something, meaning when you are hearing something, witnessing, or experiencing that you feel you need to immediately offer whatever's inside of you, like whether that is to give advice or to help out or to scream or to whatever it is, that you take a step back first. Patience. Are you really required to engage at that moment that you feel that spark or that trigger? Probably not. And June's the perfect month to figure that out. How do you apply the patience on it? And then when you get into around June 20th, 21st, which is the big marker, where you've been in your heart energy and mending wounds from old lifetimes, other time frames, all coming in, you're going to get a little bit more heady. And here's the neat thing. So you know how some of you are able to really enjoy your parallel lives, which could be past or future at the same time, and some of you have been very confused about it. You're like, I'm missing this block of time. Or I feel like today is Friday, and it's not Friday, it's Wednesday. And so you get really confused about all of that. It's not just going to be a feeling anymore, it's going to come up into your head. So it's going to turn into a knowing, and not a confusing knowing like before, like what April was doing. This is like in your head with clarity. You go, oh, I am thinking about this and feeling this, and it's related to another time frame. Like, just as sure as you're saying, I smell cake, and you walk over and you go, and there's cake. No wonder I'm smelling cake. So it's going to be a little bit more blunt. Now, it's not going to happen overnight, but this is the type of energy vibrations that's available to us. And it's coming to us in these tiny steps, this enlightenment and evolvement, which is what a lot of people call the shift or ascension, is coming to us in these tiny doses, so that when we begin to really use our skills, like in telepathy and remote viewing and more distant healing, which all this shelter in place is exercising for the luminaires and the healers and the light workers out there, it's so that we can get small doses and build a better connection to them and trust them and get to know them before just going, guess what, the human being is all knowing and all telepathic and you can heal your body overnight. People aren't going to believe that. They're going to go, charlatan, that's not true. But now that you're getting just tiny glimpses and you use just a little bit at a time, it's not going to be so overwhelming or scary, and you're going to be able to connect to it more. Globally, we have everybody working on wounds and relationships.
Mm-hmm.
It is like the perfect time to redefine your definitions of words, redefine your intent, redefine your career, define, reshape, relook, mold, all of that. Not necessarily time to launch everything, but definitely definitely the time to redefine and shape and patience. So it's going to feel very slow, but it's not stop and go. May was stop and go. Progress, backwards, progress in the ditch. This is not like that. It's every day, it's something more, and your progress, and it gets deeper and deeper. It can create a feeling in light workers and empaths and people who are highly sensitive, HSPs, a sense of depression because it's such introverted work. But it's not depression. It's inner clarity. But sometimes the very sensitive people, when we say, oh, I have to look at that again, it's like, all of this, I got it. Why am I still in here? Why aren't? Because you're picking up on there's something bigger coming. And so you're wanting to see that or feel the big relief, but it's not here yet. So you might mistranslate it as depression. It's not. It's inner clarity time done with a lot of patience.
Maitland, can I share a little bit about what I've been going through? Because I feel like, me and the Lumineers, we definitely experience some of the same things. And when you're talking about this depression, I can really relate to it because I understand that I've had a lot of sadness. But my sadness seems to be stemming from waking up and realizing how many conditioned beliefs I have. Even being me and the work that I do and what I read and all of that, the deeper you get, the more you realize how ingrained these beliefs are. And it makes you sad. It makes you sad that you're just waking up to those. I mean, for me, I'm now 45 and not having a little bit of, oh my gosh, what if I would have known all this when I was 20? What if I would have known all this when I was 10? Which there are 10-year-olds now and 20-year-olds now who know this and haven't been as conditioned as we have. But I just wanted to share that because I can definitely relate to that sadness and that depression. And I think that it's what a lot of us maybe didn't experience before because our lives were too full to feel it completely. And one more comment.
It's very true. It's a good comment. Thank you.
I think a lot of people can relate to this, especially in the spiritual community, because we're doing so much inner work constantly and that these things come up. And the other thing that I'm thinking of nonstop when you keep talking about having all this patience, for me, it's been a really good lesson, 1 in patience, but 2 in being present, because we're being, for lack of better words, forced to be present in our daily lives because we can feel all of this stuff coming in our lives and these bigger and better things. I'm not going to speak for Jamie, but I will, in the sense that even within her business and the things that we're working on together, we're really having to sit there and be present. Where before we could plan months ahead, we could plan a year ahead, but now we don't even know what that looks like. And so I think that it's really this time that we are all in this together.
Thank you very much. Next time, can you and I both be on camera?
Well, I think you're the star of the show for the maybe for other things, but for the energy update, I just had to share that for some reason.
But I like that because I'm not living the life on Earth right now. So I don't have the examples to give like that. And it makes the point more clear.
I think it's a hard time to be human. I was talking about this the other day with someone. We can go back in time and think about all these other time periods, like the Great Depression, or I could list off a million. But we know so much more now. We know so much more. And so it's not this, gosh, I don't know how to put it into words. It's not that physical struggle anymore. It's more of a spiritual, emotional struggle. I don't know how to properly put that into words.
But that's what we're talking about. You're getting your gifts like this much. It's the shift, the ascension, the enlightenment, the lift, the intuitive. It's all of that getting more and more and more and more. And, people did have that in your recent past. When we look at even like the Renaissance era, and, we could go back to Grecian times. There were moments in the whole evolution of human as you know it today that had these sparks of enlightenment and growth, where they were with nature and nature was teaching them lessons and they were living their life organically.
I think what I was thinking is that we have access to endless information, which I think can be a good and a bad thing. But right now, I'm even thinking about, like, even compared to when I was a teenager, the books and the knowledge base, the YouTube videos, all of that I can access now compared to then and formulate, it's mind-boggling. You know what I mean? What kind of information we have access to.
That's very true. It is. It wasn't like that before. But I agree that all that information can also work against you. Because a lot of, like, during the Enlightenment era and even in the industrial area, learning about all kinds of new growth and machines and so forth, like, it can change the way you connect to nature. It can change the way the basics are in a person's life. But this is one of the first times in human evolution where the information and the knowledge is going to be present and the basics of life are going to be present, where they are connecting. They are, a very general statement, they are connecting to the earth and getting the organic, very natural responses of energy and the seasons and reconnecting to the food, but also having this above and beyond multidimensional access to knowledge and information. July is just as busy as June. So it's going to feel like this never-ending kind of cooker that you started in April, stop and go in May, patience in June, and then July just cracks open something else, and April to August is this big change and shift, which is, it's super exciting for people on Earth, and I'm thrilled for you. I wanted to take a moment and talk about the chakras in the human body and what chakra is being challenged the most for June. So if you needed to give extra vibration and love and attention to it to help it function better, it would be best. And the one that's going to be challenged the most is the solar plexus, the yellow, the one that defines who you are, the one that likes to hold the knowledge. It's located beneath the curve of the ribs, and Jamie calls it the me chakra, and it's going to be overactive. So you might find as a luminaire, a light worker, an empath, a highly sensitive person, where you normally wouldn't say, well, I this, and I that, and I know, and I connect, because it's just not the way that you vibrate. You'll probably do a little bit more of this. You'll be using the I statement quite a bit. And it might be uncomfortable to some of you, and some of you might go, this is the best. I have never been so verbal about myself before, and it feels great. So everybody's going to respond a little bit different. give a lot of love to the solar plexus for June. Patience, redefine, reshape, and then 20th, 21st, we jump into the head with clarity, and then you can start thinking about all those definitions you've created emotionally and how you're going to hold them in the higher vibrations. And so to make that transition, the one chakra that's going to be needed the most is your third eye. The indigo one, it's right in the middle of your forehead. It works with the pituitary gland, and it helps conduct what the hormones are in your body. And it works with your intuitive self. Your gut instincts happen here. Even though they arrive here, they happen here. All your clears, your psychicness. So this is the one that you're going to need more and more of. And so if you feel like you don't have enough of it, then you want to give yourself that deep indigo color. You can use lapis lazuli. You can use stones and aromatherapies, chants and everything. You can give yourself a little love by putting your hand over it. You can get a clear quartz that has a point on it, and you can point it down into the top of your head to kind of rejuvenate this. You can do breath work and breathe into your third eye, which is really awesome. You can try that. I like it a lot. And then so this is the one that's solar plexus is being challenged. The third eye is the one that you need. And then the one that's being supported the most is the heart. We've had a lot of heart. The heart's been in, I think, April and May, and here it is in June. It was being challenged, and then it was needed, and now it's being supported. Because now that you've connected to it so deeply, when you go to talk about what you're doing, it's going to have an emotional value to it. You're going to feel seen. You're going to feel heard. You're going to feel just like in that moment with your heart energy present. So congratulations for going through 60 days of a lot of great deep heart work, which is pretty much just super fast when we look at your lifespan. 60 days is nothing. Of course, it'll come back and forth. When we're growing spiritually and you grasp a new concept or a new way of being, it doesn't just stick. You don't just land it and then you're good. It will keep with you, and then you'll be in a new situation and you're like, oh, I've never had my newness in a different situation like this. And so you'll teeter a little bit. So when you're teetering, just go, oh, I'm in a really exciting place. I have a new opportunity to present my heart energy in this situation. Please don't see it as, oh, I'm being challenged again. Did I not get it right the first time? Why are you always doing this to me? Because we're not always doing this to you. You've agreed to be alive at this time. You've agreed to these conditions, and you've definitely agreed to evolve with it. And I will say, if you are still watching this video, that if you are the one watching this in the month of June, you guys are really here for a deep, deep purpose. And it is to raise a consciousness that hasn't been here before. So if you're wondering why in the past you felt alone, or that you haven't had too much time in your life to find a tribe, just know that pretty soon, you will have everything that you've been looking for. When I say pretty soon, okay, let me say it again. Throughout the rest of this year, you will find more and more people that are like-minded, like-hearted, like-souled, like you. And you're not going to feel that your uniqueness is not accepted or outside of the box. You're going to find that your uniqueness is going to feel more like a norm. That's what I mean. Thank you for watching. I don't know. thank you for watching the June energy message for 2020. My name is Maitland, and I will see you later, alligator.
After a while, crocodile.
I'll see you soon, baboon.
Bye-bye, butterfly.
Oh, wait, like this. Hasta mañana, iguana.
Toodaloo, kangaroo.
I blow you a kiss, jellyfish.
Oh my god, I'm going blank. I got a jog warthog. Cut it loose, mongoose.
I'll see you in the morning, unicorn. Thank you. You're welcome.